go authority, Port Authority, and could we introduce ourselves, starting with you, Bill?
Bill Scriber, Port Authority.
Tom Schneider.
Terry Hamel, Scott Del Conte.
John Kara-Smith.
Jerry Brown, Mike Shanley.
Amy Tressetter. Okay, motion 402-1801 to approve the minutes of 3/19,
So moved.
2008.
So moved.
Do we have any questions, corrections, discussion about the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. The administrative operational report, Exhibit B.
You're on the air.
Okay. Well, for the last several months, I've been bringing you bad news. I guess this is my good news report. There's a lot of good news. First, FEMA was here to do our final sign off on our damage reports. Debbie did a wonderful job coordinating with them. It looks like we're going to receive back on our initial emergency efforts. We'll receive back about $51,000. This is not the large dock reconstruction or the rail. This is the amount of time, effort, and money we spent to minimize any damage on the port from the high water.
Nice.
So, and also last week I signed off on the last 3 remaining projects. They'd be the east, the west pier, and on the road to send them down to FEMA to get them scoped and cost estimates. And at that time, it comes back to us, we review them, then we can make changes, they can make changes, there'll be a final sign-off. So we're at the end of the stages towards reconstruction. So at that point, then we'll be going back to the board on hopefully the state follows past practices and has over a number of years and picks up 25% of our share. If not, we have to discuss that, so. Okay. Yes.
And again, we need to work with our representatives on just making sure that they're aware. We've done a little bit of that preliminary work.
I think I've reached out to the governor's representative. In fact, I think we probably, maybe I could have Amy or maybe you was pen a letter to all of them and give them some information on the extent of the damage and our viability. I have a little bit more information on the report as we get towards that, because I think that would be very helpful. Next
That's
is
coming from Amy, or we think have the whole board sign it, but the initial draft sheet comes from you since you know what's going on.
Who's the governor's rep?
Colleen Deacon. Okay. And the letter we sent is been positively received from DOT. They're moving it through their channels, but of course we need the other channels on the appropriations side, the legislature and the governor's office. I was happy that when they did set aside money for the emergencies in their budget. So I'm assuming there is money for this. We just have to make sure they're aware of of the extent of our damages. So I'll draft
And my
a letter.
understanding is the money they initially set aside, the demand wasn't as high as they expected, so there should be some left over.
I like that.
Next,
That's what I heard from
That'd be great.
Assemblyman.
next, we've had a contract hanging out there with 2014-2015 rates with crop production services for almost 4 years now. I engaged crop production services, as I told you I would, several months ago. I would like to say I'm very happy we came to agreement on rate increases across the board. We got about 90% what I asked for. And any negotiation, we get 90%, it's a good negotiation. I'll go over the percentages because that's just going to their attorney for review and coming back to us for our attorney review before I present it. But this is one of those contracts that I basically had a conference call a couple times with their representative, and then we just sat in the office, had a cup of coffee, talked, and came to agreement. They wanna be here, they've been here, one of the longest companies at the port, they'd like to expand the port. I'll discuss that later with you as we
Why aren't you
figure it out.
familiar with-
Their potash, crop
Okay,
production
they're
services, yes. They actually have dome number 2 and number 3. They like to expand here. The market is good, grain is going up, and just as a footnote, when trucks come in to dump grain off, they like to pick up something else. And it makes sense for them to have more of a presence here they have in the past. So that's part of, I believe, why he wants to stay very positive here, is he sees this port as a growth mode, and he wants to continue a good relationship with us. And honestly,
What would the trucks be looking to pick up?
potash.
Oh, so deliver
Yes.
potash, pick up?
Well, usually typically they'll come in and they'll deliver grain products,
Okay.
and then they'll take a load back out. If it's from a distance away, typically in the spring, they'll backload some potash and run that out. So that makes, it's a natural for us.
Empty trucks don't make money.
And again, good news, I mean, we've never had a contract where we've gotten raises each of the 3 years we've had. So, he was very susceptible to a gentle discussion and negotiation, so,
Acceptable.
yes, it was acceptable both sides. Okay. Next is a Tiger grant, that's good news. In the current past budget, the Tiger grant is still in, and the money is tripled. There is, we don't know exactly, because everything I've been reading, they haven't, US Department of Transportation hasn't got the full details on what the Trump administration wants to do with the matches, but the money is gonna be out there. So it's a very good opportunity, seeing we have that state money, to match the state money on a very good, worthwhile project. As I said, right now, grain storage is our one area that we are expanding on. In fact, just look out here, we put the warehouse with a whole bin of soybeans. We can't get enough storage, and Dennis, in about 2 weeks, they're gonna be bringing in the scale system. And their contractor now is trying to plan a time to start installing that. He's actually, I believe, last time I talked with him, last week, he was looking at maybe bumping up to 7 ships. Getting the turnarounds here faster, meaning as soon as we empty out the space, he wants to bring more trucks in, fill it up, and take it back out again. And these aren't the little ones we had before, I don't wanna say little, 5,000 metric tons, he's talking 12,000 metric ton a shot in the Lakers. So, he's looking at not transloading, but filling and going. So I think that's a really positive thing.
So you're full back here with soybeans?
Yes,
So you
everywhere.
have a lot of aluminum on the ground.
Yes, yes. I'll go over to the barge in just a minute.
The Tiger, the federal government, what do they look for, right? Because these applications ride on matching the expectations of the type of economy they're trying
Right.
to drive.
What they're looking for, and I think that's where we have the strongest suit, honestly, in the Great Lakes right now, is A, we're rural. They give advantage towards rural communities. B, they give advantage towards disadvantaged communities, which we have in Oswego, a large disadvantaged community. And third, they're looking for a marrying between rail, water, or truck, rail, and water. We have all three here. So we can prove, as I hope we can, that we have about a 60% increase in grain over the last several years input. We're going to be able to double and triple that if we can export quicker. We also, I've taken a lot of pictures, have a deficit in storage. We need to store more grain here. We've actually become a grain hub. So with all that together and a $2.1 million match, it makes us competitive overall, as we were a number of years ago when we did the Tiger Grant, when I worked with Tom Sawala, CNS, and we put together a grant for the rail. that is only helping us, because now we can actually marry all this together in a real focused plan. And right now, a majority of the grain is going water. And if we put something right next to the water, that makes us very competitive, because the dynamics is the more we can take off truck and reduce CO2 emissions, and the more we can prove it to go to rail, or excuse me, rail, more we can go to water, is the most economical mode of transportation. And they're not looking to transload this, they're looking to load and go to destination.
Once the grant is filed, is there an educational process?
Oh, yes.
That works well, who would be the best?
Senator, our US senators and congressmen.
Okay.
I will say,
And
Senator Schumer was very helpful in the last Tiger grant.
Yeah.
Honestly, how it works is that each senator there's enough money in the nation, they sort of kind of put their playing cards down on what projects they'd like.
Yeah, so I think, you know, the senator was, might be at other events, banking association events that he was attending. When he hears Oswego, he thinks port. I think he became a little disenfranchised over the last couple of years, so it would be good to re-engage him under current leadership. And I believe the congressman has been up, right?
He hasn't been up yet.
Well, we should get the congressman up for it.
I really wanted to
Very
get,
active in the
yeah,
county.
and I agree with you, but this month is also good news. Now I can actually, when somebody comes in, I can tout what we've been doing
Yeah.
last quarter
What a
that
great
actually,
story, yeah.
yep. I mean, there's,
The time is right.
this is, I mean, I'm very, happy with our progress. This team here has built, I think, a very good, strong movement forward that, I think is gonna take us somewhere very quickly. By 2019, I think we're basically gonna be re-energized. Next, unfortunately, because I've signed an NDA, I have a request to go to executive session after normal. It's on a new business opportunity, okay, that I really need to update you on. Currently, I've been working with Debbie because we have so many bids that we're putting out right now. We're developing a format where we don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. And though bids and proposals are bids and proposals, nothing's guaranteed, I think we're very strong in all these areas. Unfortunately, they're not coming in a dock tomorrow or next month, but this is how you build a base. You start bidding. And it was kind of interesting because World Shipping called me a couple days ago, last week, because I keep forgetting my days now. They were very happy at, I guess, our quick turnaround on things. We're actually responding quickly, which, again, I'm helping my team there, is able, both Patty and Debbie are helping me, we're able to get the information back quick and full, so they feel like we're out there wanting to drag it in. And you probably know, Tom, anybody who's willing to do that, they think is really interested in the business. So we're very aggressive. I like our aggressive stance. I mean, I'm not letting anything go. Anything.
And you're comfortable with our costs so that.
Yes. Well, let me put it like, I'm comfortable with them if Debbie's comfortable with them. I mean, if we're looking at, a rate, and we're basing a lot of rates, I'll be honest with you, on previous rates that were successful. We're not reinventing the wheel, we're making cuts where we can, we're updating the cost factors where we need to, but I'm not gonna overbid the market. I need things here, I need people working, so.
The conversation Bill and I had early is, we can work in reestablishing ourselves, after some multi-price negotiations previously, with a little bit of better margin. It just has to be a margin incorrect negative unless we look to be looking at a loss leader or something.
Well, I think I explained that to many of you before, I did that this year,
Yeah.
just as a tactical advantage, business-wise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's proved to be successful, because like they're already talking about next year. So, I'm working, I'll discuss that with you later, but I think we're going aggressive enough that we are gonna have a profit margin, at the same time, I need to get business in there. As I said before, Purdue has gone ahead, they signed a contract to put the export scales in, that's a positive note. ILA negotiations are coming, in executive session, I have some updates on that. Just as afterthoughts, in the last several days, or before anything, we have an economic impact study that was paid for by the board, it's coming out in June. I've already talked to the company, they would like to tout the successes of Oswego port and its addition to the local economy, so I'm talking with their PR person now. Now, there's a couple little fast notes, I just wanna, not bore you with, but I wanted to keep the good news moving here. Right now, we have 15 rail cars of aluminum coming in. That's on, we haven't had that in like 5-6 years. We have right now, in just this coming week, over 1,458 metric ton and 2,025, give or take, pieces coming into the port. We're ahead of aluminum from last year. I've talked to these people, they're going to probably, in next month, switch that to barge, which is still good for us. So, we're receiving aluminum, and a lot of aluminum. And I'm happy to say, that means I need people to move aluminum and work on aluminum and ship aluminum. So hopefully things are gonna be going really good. And as that, the aluminum stack you have out there now, I just wanna compliment the ILA on, they worked on Easter Sunday. That was an excellent barge, we moved that off really fast. Patty, believe me, unfortunately, I can't work 24/7, so I've got a crew here willing to step in and help me out. Everyone did, I think, a great job. Actually, it was faster than I anticipated. I don't want to tell anybody that too much, but it was actually faster, so I actually had to drive a little faster coming back. so I could see the ship go. So just to let you know that. Also,
Just a quick question on that.
Sure.
I had some questions on things that I should have already known by now, but what's a short ton versus a metric ton?
semantics,
Really?
a few pounds, that's
You
about it.
can say unimportant.
Yeah,
2.2 pounds per
Yeah.
kilogram.
yeah.
I know this is numbers.
So, like a short ton is 2,000 pounds, a kiloton is 2,200 pounds.
Thank you.
It's a whole back to the old shipping systems. Just to let you know, we're not just looking at trying to, how do I put this, bring more revenue in. We're re-looking at all our contracts we've had over the last several years. And I have to congratulate Meg, she's our purchasing person and the personnel. I'm a little tough on her sometimes, but I kind of was griping over this one contract we have. We're renegotiating our phone contract, and we are looking at savings minimally of $615 per month, over $7,000 per year. We may even go a bit lower, and that's including new phone system. The phone system we have, I don't like, the employees don't like. It doesn't really fit our needs. So we're going to go to an internet-based phone system, which is a great reduction in cost. So she really stayed on it, really stayed on the company, and has done a really good job. We, it's like I say, it's cost mitigation. Sometimes you don't have to bring a dollar in if you can stop a dollar from going out. So here we're stopping a dollar going out, which is only good for us. So, what else do we have? I think that's enough for tonight for me. If you have any questions,
I have a comment about the study. That's a periodic study that the Great Lakes Ports Association does, and the last one was done in 2011, I think it was. So it'd be very interesting to compare where we stand vis-a-vis the economic impact in Central New York now compared to 2011. I suspect there's going to be an increase.
Yeah, I gave all of you a copy of the 2011 report. It's going to be, I understand from Steve Fisher, who's executive director of the association, that it will be something similar. They're going to redo it a little bit, but ours will be broken out as it was before. And I'll be giving that as soon as they finalize the copy. Actually, I'll be getting a draft copy I'll have sent out to everybody so you get a chance to attend.
This is a big deal for the Great Lakes Sports Association, because they compare every port and the whole system, the whole US dating system. And so you get lots and lots of information.
And that's why I gave on your note on there, I talked with their PR person at the Great Lakes Association, and we're gonna talk about a strategy for Oswego, so we have an opportunity to, you know, prove to senators and congressmen, local officials, assemblymen, senators, what our impact in the community is in central New York, in the New York area.
And it would be nice, they'll put a good program, they came in 2011, and they'd be saying things big, you know, lots of press, lots of Congress people, Senate.
Yeah.
They make it a big deal for us because it's part of, it's good for us, good for the whole district.
And as soon as I get the details, I'll be informing the board, so, you know, everybody will be a part of it. I just wanted to give you advance notification.
Bill, in your, in section B, I noticed the letter is there from the fire department,
Yes,
with the Wear It Oswego campaign.
yes.
Does anybody have any questions about that or any opinions about what we should do, if anything, regarding that? Bill, do you have an opinion?
Well, I think we ought to support them in some way monetarily. It's a good program for the community. I don't think, Patty, we don't have a rate yet, do we?
They'll accept whatever we're willing.
Okay.
They didn't put a dollar amount, they just said.
I like request letters and get them all the time for different things and have specificity to what you're looking for. Here's some levels instead of the open-ended.
Right.
I did email and ask him, he did throw a number out there in an email back to me, but he said if we were interested in donating $1,000 towards it, that's fine, but they'll accept anything, so,
What was the number they threw out?
1,000.
I don't know if you need any formal action on $1,000.
I would like,
Leave it
I
to
would
Bill.
like, yeah,
I
I mean,
would warrant the $1,000.
could I have the second? Could I-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would ask too that we get some, recognition on the 18th, the day we're starting this program.
Excuse me, what was the?
Good news from the port that we're supporting this program.
Yes, and what will happen is, the port will be listed on all the signage that they put out, any of the
Great.
brochures and advertisements go out, we'd be put as a sponsor
Okay,
on it.
thank you.
Mhm.
Moving on, administrative financial reports. Motion 04/02/1802 to accept the primary financial reports, which is C1. Does anybody have any questions about these reports?
You wanna put a motion and second
Yes.
out there and then do
Yeah.
questions?
Yes, please.
So moved. So
Well,
moved.
I have a question, one motion that we just did, would that be 1802, a donation?
Oh, right.
Um,
Do you want to put that under new business when we get to new business?
well,
Or do you wanna-
You could make it 1801A, you
Okay,
know, as a the agenda.
thank you.
Thank you.
Did we get the motion and the second?
No, I speak there.
All right. Could I get a
Yeah,
motion?
I'll move the primary financial reports.
Second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, Terry moved that second.
All in favor?
Go, I wanna go to questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and they're not much, and stop me at any time, some of them are just directed towards, the other current assets, you know, the grants receivable is what? 318,000.
That's the amount of money that the New York State Department of Transportation owes us. They have not paid us yet for the inland port.
Yes.
What page you on?
I'm on page 1 3, just the face of the balance sheet, the assets. I have a question on another fixed asset, but I'd like to read to executive session. When you come to the long-term liabilities, I know last time we talked about maybe with Deb getting the valuation, I'm just confused about why the OPEB liability is going up, why the net pension liability would go up. So normally in a period of rising rates, as the discount rate rises on the calculation of future liability, discounted back to present value, it results in a lower liability, and yet we have the liability continue to increase. I'd just like to see what the
I'm sorry I didn't get that
actuaries
to
are
you
doing.
before.
Yeah, no, just when you get a chance, I'd just like to see it, 'cause
I'll send it to you tomorrow.
before we get to the audit, I'd like to just see what they're doing there, what assumptions that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a return on assets thing, but I don't get it. Then the last thing is just the presentation of, in the equity section, retained earnings and net income confuses me because, we have lowered total equity because you have lowered net income, but net income is normally just additive. So we have higher retained earnings, and I'm not sure how you can have additive income and end up with lower total equity.
The system generates all of that.
Yeah.
I can take a look at it and
Yeah,
go.
net income should really close out to retained earnings, and net income is just a yearly additive,
Mhm.
posted as income summary, a lot of textbooks. But I just don't understand, it's not a normal equity level presentation, and I should have noticed that before.
We'll go over it.
That is it for my questions. The income statement side is clear.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Motion 04021803 to accept the subsidiary financial reports, which are Exhibit C2. Could I have a motion for
So moved.
discussion? And a second. Any questions?
No,
All right.
Ken has no questions.
Short and-
Can I just make one note?
Yes.
We are aggressively going after the past marina debt. We sent them out a warning letter, I don't know if they warning, friendly, that 30 days we expect you to pay, if not, we'll turn it over to collector. We have received, according to Debbie, 3 to 4 of those payments already. We hope to be cleaning this up, hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days. And I hope to never have to come, or anybody to come and have 120 and 91 and over. Unless there's some really big issue.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson's report. I don't have anything to say except thank Debbie or Patty for putting the article in our folders. And thanks Terry for your kind words. So we can move on to committee reports.
I'm not sure maybe we fully recognized the last time, we made the transition, Terry's long service to the court in the chair position while he still retains the board position. So certainly just thank you on behalf of the board for those years of leadership.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
We'll move on
It
to,
aged me soon.
don't say
Don't
that.
tell him that.
Don't wanna hear that.
No. Committee reports. The executive committee has no report.
Board of Finance did not meet.
And governance?
We can talk about some issues in executive session.
All right. Attorney's report, Michael?
Nothing.
Old business? None. Any new business? Then we have a motion, 040218, to move into executive session to discuss continuing ILA contract negotiations and new business contract negotiations. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second,
John.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jerry was faster, John was louder.
Any opposed? Did I have a motion to go out to resume regular session?
I move we resume regular session.
I tell myself what I do and then I go do
All
it.
in favor?
Aye.
We are back in regular session.
Aye.
I was back on here?
Yes.
So go by the resolution numbers that are open in the agenda.
Yes.
Okay, John, there are two resolution numbers if you go to the agenda on the last page.
Okay,
Yeah, the ad
I'm
hoc
sorry, I don't
motion
need
for
to,
O two
you know, be like
1806.
that, but where's your, okay, it's on the.
yeah, it's here,
So it's these two.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
right, Michael, they're.
Yes, 1806 and 1807.
What?
Yeah, that's not how they're listed here.
It's 40218 and 402.
Yeah, that's just
They're
the
left
date.
blank so we can add
Okay,
it.
that's
You
just
gotta
the
add the
date.
number, the last
Okay.
two numbers you have to add.
Yeah, what are the numbers?
Oh, yes. 06
Oh,
is the
six
first
is,
ad hoc, 07 is the second ad hoc,
Okay.
and then we'll have one to adjourn, which is gonna be the last one.
So it's 402,
That's a beautiful.
1806.
fine point.
Yes, make sure you give me a copy.
we reservations on that.
I'm not waiting now.
Okay, I do have two resolutions. Motion 040218-06. I move to authorize Amy,
These guys are coming out of the governance committee.
yes, from the governance committee. We move to authorize Amy Tressetter in her capacity as chair of the board of directors to sign and enter into a settlement agreement and release the terms of which are confidential and confidential to all parties involved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The resolutions.
Actually, Amy needs to call.
That's
vote.
called
You make the
say.
motion.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Amy,
Yes, there you go.
sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait,
Any
you guys some
opposed?
power and just takes it.
Well, I thought because it's
Motion
ordering.
carries.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
You made the motion.
Okay,
You made
and-
the motion as chair, you could do it, chair of the committee.
I know. As the second motion, 040218-07, resolution to authorize Amy Tressetter and Kenneth Stevens as chair and vice chair of the board of directors to continue the authority's investigation of contracts and consulting agreements relating to the Central New York Inland Port, that is the intermodal terminal facility, and further directing Ms. Tressetter and Mr. Stevens to take investigative actions which they deem necessary on behalf of the authority in accordance with Public Authorities Law number 1356, including compelling the attendance of witnesses and the production of records. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
1808.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.